Welcome everybody to Cornubia Sports Complex as Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia present to you QBL Round 2. It's the Logan Thunder hosting the Toowoomba Mountaineers. I'm John Guarna tonight. I've got the three-man booth going tonight. We've got Regan Baker and Dan George. Guys, both teams come in tonight off of a loss. Dan, Toowoomba got really smashed last weekend against Ipswich, and Logan took a tough loss to your former team, the Spartans. What do these guys need to do? Who's going to pick up the first win tonight?
Well, I think to answer that question directly, you've got to expect Logan to come out, first home match of the season. They'll have plenty of energy, and they're probably just a slightly more talented team, especially until Frances Donders is one of the best players in the league, and Toowoomba's big signing off season. She's obviously away on European duties at the moment. She'll be back next week, but without her, I just think Logan will have too much talent, and especially on their home court for Toowoomba to handle tonight.
And Toowoomba took that tough loss to Ipswich last week, Regan. They're going to be looking, obviously, for their first win of the season. What do you think Toowoomba has to do to get into it?
Yeah, definitely. Look, Toowoomba's game is going to be really on the defensive end this week. If they can't stop the likes of your Cassie Smiths, your Kate Gazers, or anyone like that on the court, they're not going to have a chance in this game. So Toowoomba's going to have to really come out firing in terms of their defensive position. They're going to have to move their feet. They're going to have to get a hand in every single face of the Logan players. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen for them here tonight.
Yeah, and both teams, again, we talked about Kate Gay. She had a tough night last week. It's tough to say when you score 19 points and get 6 boards, you had a tough night. But it was on 7 of 21 shooting. She is a volume scorer, Dan. She's one of the more dynamic players in the competition. What does she need to do tonight to get off track? Just keep shooting, I think.
Well, I think so, and she's one of my favourite players to watch, men or women. I think she's immensely talented, and her basketball IQ is absolutely top shelf, and I just really enjoy watching her game. And I think if I'm her, 7 of 21's okay. I'll probably take another 20 shots tonight, and I think you just have to get yourself into a rhythm of the season, and I would expect her to shoot a much better percentage this evening.
Yeah, and Regan, you're quite familiar with one of the Toowoomba Mountaineers, Ezria Parsons, from your time at Southwest. Tell us a little bit about Ezzy. She came back last week, had a tough 8 points and 11 boards.
Yeah, I think for Ezzy, it's been a little bit of a hard season. She hasn't come out firing as well as what she would have hoped to last week. Had a bit of a season off the year before. Had a couple of struggles with Southwest. It hasn't really done much in the off-season either, so she's coming off having not played a lot of basketball. So hopefully tonight she really does come out absolutely firing, taking those big shots that she knows she can get. You look back at her 3-4 years ago when she was playing between Toowoomba, Ipswich, Southwest, she would take those long threes without hesitation and hit them, 40% at a time. So she just needs to get herself back on form, and she'll be an absolute force to reckon with in this competition.
And then one of your other favorite players in the competition, Cassie Smith, she had a great game for Logan. She was probably the bright star for the Thunder last week.
No doubt, and we've discussed last season during broadcast as well. She is just so versatile. She can score the ball if you need her to score. Good rebounder, exceptional defender. Again, really smart veteran player. So I think any team will benefit from her just because she fills so many different roles. So looking forward to watching her play this evening for sure.
Logan Thunder have done a great job. The stadium looks awesome. They've got some amazing event gold class seats here in the stadium. I've never seen that before. So congratulations to the guys here at Logan Thunder, really bringing in some high-end sponsors. And again, we see that level of the QBL continue to rise up. I think QBL, and everyone's been talking about it this year, is probably one of the best competitions we've seen. The women's game is also lifting its level. We've seen a ton of talent come into the competition as well, not just on the men's side, but the women's as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen some amazing some sponsors come on board this year that we haven't had in previous years. Obviously, Logan Thunder with Event Cinemas here tonight. There's been a lot more interest in the QBL, and we've had some amazing crowds as well, not just here tonight, but all over the state. We've had some really, really good turnout. So this year is going to be absolutely amazing in the QBL.
Yeah, and don't forget, after this game, we'll have the men's game for you backing up. Again, both teams looking for their first win of the season. The men's matchup will be shortly afterwards. We're going to take a quick break for the Australian national anthem. Stick with us here. It's Logan Thunder versus the Toowoomba Mountaineers in women's QBL action. Beautiful rendition there of the Australian national anthem. It always gives me goosebumps. You know the tip is about to come off just shortly after that. So let's talk a little bit about the game last week. The game itself for the Logan Thunder, it was a 90-77 loss for the Thunder versus the Spartans. You see Logan, one thing that Coach Can definitely would have talked to his group about was turnovers, Dan. They had 23 turnovers in the game last week. When you turn the ball over that much, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. What does Logan have to do tonight to try and tidy that thing up? And what does the coach do to make that adjustment?
Well, I think 12 to 14 turnovers for a match is probably acceptable. Any more than that, you're right, John, it's going to be really difficult to get wins. I'm not sure how much of that you put down to just the first game jitters. I think the first week or two of the season, of any season, no matter how much you've played together, is always going to be a little bit messy. So a part of that adjustment will just be the process of getting into the season, getting a gamut under your belt. But you would have thought they would have gone back and done a lot of work in the week on the practice track, just around looking after the ball and executing their sets, because you just can't give up 10, 11, 12 possessions the other team and expect to have chance to win against all the top teams. And Logan would have finals and championship aspirations. That would be the goal in that group. So I'm sure they're aware of the need to make the change, and I would expect them to do that this evening.
Yeah, and Toowoomba was quite similar also. 23 turnovers in their game. So let's hopefully both these teams can tidy those things up, take care of the pill tonight, and give themselves an opportunity to get some shots up. But Toowoomba really struggled last week in their loss to Ipswich, 97-43. They never led in that game, and they didn't hit a three-pointer. But the stat that really stuck out to me in that one, only 8 free throw attempts and 10 three-point attempts. You got to try and get your feet in the paint if you want to win a game in the QBL.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, none from 10 from the three-point line. There's got to be a point in time where your coach realizes, look, it's just not happening outside. You've got to get the ball inside. Going to be very, very hard for Toowoomba tonight as well. You've got an amazing defensive side here with Logan, especially the likes of Kate Gaze, Cassie Smith, an absolute powerhouse inside the key as well. But 23 turnovers, I mean, especially against a team like Logan that scores with the percentages that do, you just can't have that many turnovers in a game, otherwise you're not going to stand a chance. So Toowoomba's going to have to really come out, play some amazing offense, and really just set themselves in the paint down the defensive end as well to try and prevent Logan getting on a scoring streak.
Quick prediction, Regan, who's going to get the win tonight?
Look, I think Toowoomba's going to fight hard, and I think this will be a lot closer than the game they had last week. I reckon Logan will come out by about 15 points up.
And Dan, what about your prediction?
I agree, and probably a slightly bigger margin, 15, 20 point. Comfortable win to Logan is my expectation.
Yeah, I think Logan certainly has championship aspirations. They took a bit of a bump against one of the better teams in the competition last week in the Brisbane Spartans. I think Logan coming out in their home opener, they're going to be looking for that W as well. I definitely think that Logan is going to get this win, and I think it could be a big one if Toowoomba can't take care of the pill. But we're going to get set for the tip here. Live from Cornubia Sports Complex. Don't forget, guys, you're watching this game on the Basketball Queensland YouTube channel, presented to you by Live Sport Australia via Nothing But Net Media. If you haven't done so already, get on Facebook. Make sure you support us by liking the Live Sport Australia Facebook page. Heaps and heaps of Australian basketball content live and on demand. Tip is won by Logan, and they'll have the first opportunity to put some points up. Goes to Gaze in the corner. She fires away. It's off. Then they're going to get a quick foul call there. I think they're going to give that one to Toowoomba Mountaineers. That one's on Kim Wilson.
And we spoke in the pregame about the top shooters know to keep shooting, and coming off a 7-21 game, good to see Kate Gaze, who's going to have to lead the offense for Logan this year, not hesitate. Got the miss, but good to see that mentality still there.
Donnelly has it, gets her feet set, puts up the jumper, that's off. Parsons comes down with it for Toowoomba, so not a bad defensive start for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, very unusual miss there for Donnelly as well. I mean, that's kind of her range, just sitting at the top of the free throw line there.
Now Parsons lost it off her feet. Gaze comes up with it. Good push up the court. Ambrose puts one up, misses the layup. Parsons comes down with it. Good look though early for Logan.
It's definitely good signs. They're able to get what they want, but again, like Regan has said, it starts on the defensive end for both these squads. And so far, both teams look pretty good, and they're locked in defensively, which is great.
Dirksen missed it. Now it's with Donnelly, 3-on-2. Gaze baseline jump shot is short. Ambrose can't come down with it, and Russell comes up away with it for Toowoomba. So we see Logan again trying to get things going, trying to pick up the pace.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a battle of the boards at this point in time. 4 shots, 4 misses. It's going to really depend on who can get inside, get their butt on the player, and actually just pull down those boards.
Good high-low action. It's missed, though, and coming down with it for Logan is Luna Castro. Cassie Smith, the veteran, getting Logan set in their half-court action. Good transition D there by Toowoomba also. Gaze again for three. That's strong this time. The long rebound goes out to Donnelly.
Gaze, strong little jump shot there. Nice and easy for her. And again, just talking about what I said before the game started as well, I mean, Toowoomba's really going to need to get themselves into the keyway and prevent that. I mean, Gaze drove in with no issues whatsoever to take that nice little jump shot.
2-0 here for Logan. Turnaround jumper is no good for Kim Wilson. Having some clock issues here, folks, so apologies for that.
Kate Gaze, another nice little jump shot there just inside the three-point line. Ezria Parsons not even put a hand in her face, just kind of let her take that one. And I mean, you can't do that, especially not against Kate Gaze. She will take that shot every single day and hit it normally, fairly consistently.
Hey, Gaze has 4 already for
Parsons. Nice little jump shot there over the hand of, that was Jackie Luna Castro.
Good in-out action here. Ambrose kicks it back out to Gaze. She's going to fire a three. That's way off. Kate Gaze trying to shoot herself back into the game.
Very unusual air ball from Kate Gaze there as well. You don't see that happen too often.
So it's 4-0 here early for Logan. Parsons has it. 4-2. Parsons again now for Toowoomba. They've got 5 on the shot clock. Russell goes inside for Parsons. She's got to force one up. That's an air ball. And the shot's no good on that one.
And I know that wasn't a great outcome. Shooting a air ball's never good, but I think for a team coming off a pretty ugly loss last week, Toowoomba looked, to me, pretty composed. Looks like they've had a really good week of practice, and their offense at the moment looks all right, which is good.
Nice little pass inside there from Smith to Luna Castro, who gets a nice easy 2.
Yeah, it's now 6-2, Logan over Toowoomba.
Strong defense there from Logan.
Had good hands there by Donnelly, and somehow Ambrose comes up with it. Trying to work out our clock issues here, folks. Sorry about that. It's 6-2 here for Logan.
Nice
Smith.
passing here from the inside of Logan.
Luna Castro just can't get it to fall.
Toowoomba really struggling to find their form just at the moment. They're not having much luck down the offensive end. They just seem to can't get those passes to the inside where they got the easy layups.
You can almost see what they're trying to do, can't you, Regan? But the execution's just not quite there. You can see the idea, but just struggling to put it together at the moment.
Even that play just there, nice little kick back down into the center of the keyway for that shot, but just couldn't quite execute correctly, shooting through 2 defensive players. You're exactly right, Dan. They've got the right idea. They're just not executing correctly at the moment.
And Logan just trying to get that pace up, really trying to get their shots up quickly, speed the game up. I think they're ready to run Toowoomba off the floor.
And I think that's what's going to happen. A couple of these Toowoomba girls already look pretty puffed. I mean, Easy Parsons has been working hard. And nice N1 inside, but they look like they need a timeout already, so they'll hang around for the first quarter or 2, but you'd expect Logan's fitness and depth on the bench to carry them out as this game goes on.
And you see Coach Johnson, as you said it, Dan, Coach Johnson goes for the timeout. So we'll take one as well. There's 5:30 to go in the first quarter. It's a 6-4 lead for the Logan Thunder. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with the first quarter action here on QBL TV.
And welcome back to Cornubia Park Sports Complex here as we continue to watch the Logan Thunder take on the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Bit of a slow start for both teams, 6-4, 4.5 minutes into the game. Toowoomba there just missing the free throw is Kimberly Wilson. Logan coming down with a rebound as they kick around to the outside. Luna Castro for the long three. Doesn't quite get there though. Gets her own board as well. Can't get the putback either. Toowoomba coming down with the boards, doing really well in the defensive end here is Toowoomba. Ezria Parsons, nice little look on the inside. Again, not executing 100%. It does eventually pay off there. And that one goes to Courtney Hagan for the nice inside too.
That was a great finish.
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a messy take, but as soon as she had the ball in her hands, it was a nice little hook shot around.
Absolutely. And like you said, Regan, this is not the prettiest of games, but you got to credit, especially I'm surprised at Logan's inability to score. You'd think they'd have more than 6 points, and that's a lot to do with Toowoomba's defense. It's just scrappy, and it's really giving Logan some trouble at the moment. Yeah,
absolutely, especially coming off last season as well, where Logan was probably one of the highest percentage shooting teams in the competition, and just struggling to take off so far. And credit definitely does have to go where it's due to the Toowoomba team.
And Luna Castro gets called for the travel. Nice creativity there from Gaze. See what Toowoomba's trying to do, trying to collapse every time Gaze, just basically crowd her every time she's got the ball.
Well, I think if I was coaching against Logan, you don't want to lose with Kate Gaze having 35. You want to make some of these other girls step up and beat you. And she's obviously a focus point for tonight for Toowoomba, but she'll be the focus point every single week. She's just that good of a player. So let's see how that carries out. But so far, so good for the Mountaineers defense.
Little foul there. I think that one's going to go on Kate Gaze as well, as she just got her hands on the inside. Kimberly Wilson there, after accepting that foul, is going to sit down for a little bit. Number 6, Crystal Watson coming on. Crystal had an amazing game last week as well. She was the highest scoring player on the team for the Mountaineers, scoring 16 points. Had a huge 3 rebounds as well, with almost just under 50% field goal average as well. So let's see if she makes a bit of a difference here, if she can get the Toowoomba Mountaineers up here in the first quarter.
Correct me, fellas, if I get this name wrong, but Ula Matuga's just checked in, and having watched her a bit through juniors, I think she's got so much talent, so I'm looking forward to seeing how she goes this year as well. Another season older, I think she'll have a really good QBL season for Logan this year.
Yeah, that's Mila Goodchild. She's an Australian representative player, just got named in the Australia team. Number 10 there for Logan, pushing the ball up court. This Logan team, they have a tremendous amount of young talent coming through. Coach Ken has coached them at the under-18 level as well.
Yeah, to your point as well, Dan, Ula Matuga didn't play a lot of minutes last season, but the time that she was on the court, she was really trying to make an impact, and she did make a name for herself by the end of the season last year.
Goodchild with a nice 3 there. Lead it back up to 3.
Good defense there from the Logan team, just getting a hand in the face of that pass there.
And you can see too, guys, as Logan goes to their bench, and they've got these great young girls that you're talking about. You can see them now put the pressure up the floor, and I'm not sure that without Francis here for Toowoomba that they're going to have a lot of luck getting this ball through this press. This could really, for the last 3 or 4 minutes of this quarter, blow out a little bit here if they're not careful.
It's 9-6 with about 3:40 to go. Spinning her way to the basket, Chelsea Orbell.
Nice little inside pass there to Crystal Watson for the easy 2. Toowoomba really starting to find their form now on that offensive end.
A great finish there by Watson.
Kicks back out to Goodchild for the long 3. That one doesn't quite go in though.
Oh, there was a fight for the rebound. They're going to call Matuga for the foul.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, she just had her foot on the line when she went to touch it.
Courtney Hagan has it now for Toowoomba. She's got to pick up her dribble. Good D there by Cassie Smith.
Emily Dirksen goes on the inside offensive strong. Nice little jump shot for the easy 2.
Yeah, a bit soft in the underbelly there for Logan, and Toowoomba takes their first lead. It's their first lead of the QBL season. They trailed all game from start to finish last weekend versus Ipswich.
Nice little inside drive there for Luna Castro, that was, and she'll get the and one as well.
A great play there by Jackie Luna Castro. Spinning baseline and finishing. Dan, what do you like so far out of both these teams?
We've touched on it a little bit. I think Toowoomba probably are overachieving from what I thought they'd be. But you've got to give them credit. I think their defense to hold this Logan squad to 11 or 12 points at this stage in the matches, a credit to them. I like Logan's youth. They've come in with a lot of energy, and you can see them up the floor again, which is great to see. But I'm just impressed by Toowoomba's tenacity. Coming off such a big loss, it would have been easy to come out on the road with your head down, but they're just playing hard, and they're playing really well.
Yeah, and a tough foul call there. I think that one's going to go. Let's see who it's on.
Does go to Kate Gaze, that one as well. So that'll be her second already in the first quarter.
Yeah,
so not a great position for Logan.
Yeah, it's been quite a quiet night so far for Gaze. She's getting her shots up early. She's got 4 points, but you see Toowoomba, they're spreading the wealth on the scoreboard.
They sure are.
Toowoomba kicking the ball now around the outside. Really good offensive talent here. Crystal Watson goes for the three and sinks it.
That's a great inside-out pass. I like the cross-court skip from Parsons.
Yeah, Toowoomba really starting to play a strong offensive game. They were a little bit scrappy in the first couple of minutes there, not really finding the open passes. There was a great 4 or 5 passes around the arc, that quick skip across, nice open three.
Emily Dirksen picks up the foul on the other end. So that's Toowoomba's fourth with about 2:15 to go in the first quarter.
Nice little inside look there from Goodchild. Straight to Kate Gaze for the easy 2 and the and 1 to come.
Yeah, great look out of the out-of-bounds play. How do you let Kate Gaze get open right underneath the basket? Maybe you're thinking trying to guard the perimeter a bit.
Well, I think you expect her to step out to the three-point line, but that's just, in that particular matchup, just an example of a veteran maybe matched up on a younger, more inexperienced player, and she took advantage.
Gaze hits the free throw, so it's 14-13 now for Logan. Nearly coming up with it is Goodchild. Toowoomba better get it cross court. They do.
Logan playing some great backcourt defense there as well, really putting the pressure down on Toowoomba.
Good defense there by Luna Castro, contesting the shot. Ambrose skips it. Gaze is open from deep. It's up. It's short. Ambrose, though, with a great offensive rebound.
Logan is going to slow things down a little bit here now as well, trying to regain themselves. Luna Castro for the inside spin move.
That's Ula Matuga with the layup.
Matuga, sorry.
And the foul, 16-13. Matuga getting it in the paint and finishing through the contact.
That's an example of what we're talking about before, just a young player that's just showing so much growth in her game. And I like Logan, they come down and they get another perimeter look. Kate Gaze, you got to like that shot even though she's not shooting a great percentage. Sarah Ambrose does a lot of this little work, doesn't she? It's just all the small things you want someone to do on the team. She does, gets a second possession and they take advantage in the post.
Yeah, I think sometimes Sarah Ambrose gets a little bit hard on paper because a lot of the work that she does doesn't show up on her stats
Well, there's another offensive board right there, Regan, off the foul shot. Sorry, Matt, I cut you off there.
No, that's okay, absolutely. But yeah, she, like a lot of things that she does, it's the little defensive moves, the cuts across the key to get the pass. It doesn't always directly lead to an assist, but she makes some great passes to open up other players.
Yeah.
And Goodchild just hits another three, and then Matuga comes up with the steal. She's going to go straight to the basket and lay it in. And that pressure, like you said, Dan, Frances Donder is going to make a big difference when she gets to the court for Toowoomba.
Well, she's going to carry a really big load because she's going to be the one to beat the press in a situation like this. Then she's going to come down and take 25 shots a game too. She has to.
Crystal Watson with a short three there. Great board from Ambrose, I believe it was. Kate Gaze bringing it down. Can't get my names right tonight.
The problem with this press is that Toowoomba are forced to play offense with 11 or 12 seconds left, which is leading to these quick perimeter shots, which is feeding Logan's transition game, which is the whole reason they are pressing in the first place. But hopefully Toowoomba can lock in and get some stops and keep this lead from blowing out too much in the last minute or so here.
And Gaze fouled on her way to the basket there. That's going to be the 15th foul for Toowoomba. So Gaze is going to go to the free throw line for a couple of shots. I like what Logan's doing here, though, and we said it a bit earlier. They know they have that depth, so they're going to try and pressure the ball and really wear Toowoomba down and identifying the weakness in that ball handling or the lack of depth at the ball handling spots for Toowoomba.
Yeah, and Crystal Watson definitely not happy about that foul either. So Logan's definitely going to pick up on that, and they're going to try and find those weak points, as you said, John. Kate Gaze sinks the second. That'll put them to 23-13 over the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Slowly starting to make a bit of a breakaway here. Great open pass. Crystal Watson right underneath the basket for the two.
One time they break the Logan press, they get the easy layup.
Well, if you can beat a press, oftentimes they're laps here. Another thing that does is it lets them set their defense. So you can see Toowoomba now, as they have done for most of the game, they're pretty locked in defensively and they get another stop. It's when they get misses and long threes and that press is hard to break. that leads to transition buckets for Logan, which is how this lead's come out. But in the half court, Toowoomba has been really impressive defensively, for the most part anyway.
There's 10 seconds to go. Going to the bucket and laying it in for Toowoomba is Kimberly Wilson.
Nice little inside look there. As we sort of said, Toowoomba really starting to find those nice, easy passes to get the easy layup.
Tuga puts it up. It's off, and that's the end of the first quarter. And going into the quarter time break, it's a 6-point lead for Logan, 23-17. Take a quick look at some statistics for you here. I'm hitting too many buttons here. Think I've lost it all.
Well, if we were guessing, fellas, I think the rebound count would be pretty even. No one's been killed on the offensive glass too much. And the turnover count, which we spoke about pre-game for both teams, that seems to be, at least at our first eye glance watching the game, relatively low. I don't think anyone's really had too many turnovers, which is good, and that's why this game's probably a little bit more competitive than a lot of people would have thought it would be, a 6-point game at the quarter with Logan up.
Yeah, Toowoomba really fighting hard for it as well. I mean, they came out, both teams a little bit scrappy to start out with, and then the offensive end down both sides of both teams really started to make a huge difference. I mean, Logan just having that higher percentage. I'd say Toowoomba's probably taking around about the same amount of shots.
You think so, yeah.
Yeah, just not quite converting as many as what Logan is at the moment. But if Toowoomba can get their percentages up, this could be a really well-fought game.
Taking a look at the stats here for you. You've got Toowoomba shooting 53%, so they're hitting plenty of shots. 7 of 13 from 2, 1 of 2 from 3, but only that one free throw attempt. You look at Logan, they've got 42%, 50% from the field, from 2, but only 20% from 3. Taking a look at the turnover statistics, Toowoomba definitely has brought it down. They've only had 3 in that first quarter.
And I think this is a case where Logan have to know their game plan. They've got to know they're a little bit deeper in terms of the bench maybe, and they've just got to continue to grind it out. And you'd expect Toowoomba to hang around for a quarter, maybe 2. But if Logan can just stick to their structures, execute their offense, by the time the third or fourth quarter comes around, that's when they would expect to really expand their lead. That's got to be their approach, I would think, and not be discouraged by the grit that the Toowoomba team is showing, because their girls so far have been really impressive.
And we're back underway here now in the second half as Toowoomba kicks off the offensive end. Ezria Parsons, nice little drive on the inside, left-handed hook shot. Doesn't quite convert, though. Cassie Smith with the rebound, driving down the court. Donnelly passes down and back.
And Donnelly missed the 3 there. I like the ball movement, though, early off that first possession for Logan.
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about. They executed, got an open shot, they missed, but they just have to stay to their stuff and know that those shots will start dropping as the Toowoomba girls start to tire as the game goes on.
Nice little offensive move there from Toowoomba. Tracy Russell with the 3 off 4 or 5 passes again.
She loved it too, didn't she? And that gives them energy to go back on defense. When everyone gets a touch of the ball, all 5 girls, it makes them all go back and play hard defense, which is great. And you saw Logan sneak in there, but the cohesiveness that this Toowoomba team is showing is fantastic.
Nice
Great bucket there by Fuiava.
Beat me to it, John. I'm glad you said that last name, though, and not me.
We'll have to check at halftime. I think we got it right. I remember Fuiava from last season. I see you shaking your head there. Don't like that shot, Dan?
I think that's a shot that they can get any time, and maybe a little bit too early in the shot clock for my liking. But I guess if you're open, you ought to shoot it. But I did see the coach go straight to the bench when that went up, so he might not have liked it too much either.
Kate Gay's driving baseline for the hook shot. Doesn't quite get it in, but she will go to the line for 2.
Nice baseline drive there by Gaze. Again, you almost have to overplay her on the perimeter because she's so deadly from deep, and she used it so well to her advantage. That little hesitation. It's not even a pump fake. It's just that little hesitation, and she blows right past you.
Well, I watched her in pregame before anyone else was really out here doing exactly that, catching on the perimeter, squaring up, little jab steps, getting herself into the paint, and that's where the defense, you can't expect anyone really to guard a one-on-one. There are people that are capable of it, but it's always got to be a team effort. So if you're going to take away the 3, if she drives like that, you have to have help cutting off the baseline. All the stuff we're taught in juniors, it's not hard, but it becomes hard to do when you have quality players like her. As another Toowoomba turnover.
Yeah, doing a better job. They were doing a better job in that first quarter, but the pressure, you can see Logan, when they run that pressure, they are giving Toowoomba lots and lots of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really starting to become evident that Toowoomba is tiring. They're making little mistakes here as Logan continues to pressure hard in the backcourt. Nice little offensive hook shot there. Couldn't quite convert it.
It's Fuyava again driving baseline, going for that reverse, almost underhanded hook shot. A little bit more pressure here. You see Coach Ken running with the pressure because that's really been their best offense, is creating turnovers and pushing.
It has been, and that's a credit to Toowoomba's half-court defense. But in transition, like we're about to see right now, they look really good, and they're going to get a good shot again.
Nice little inside look there from Cassie Smith. Straight to Donnelly for the easy two.
Hey, you talk about a nice look. It doesn't get much prettier than that. Cassie Smith, wide open underneath, is sorry, that's the captain there, Michaela Donnelly, with the bucket, and then she picks up the foul on the other end.
It's a really good timeout from Toowoomba. I like it a lot, and Coach Johnson calls time. You can probably sense that the girls are a bit tired, starting to get a little bit messy with their offense. Quick timeout, regather. It's only a 9-point lead that Logan's got, so I really like this timeout. Hopefully they can come out and execute some better offense like they were doing to end that first quarter.
A timeout on the floor, so we'll take one as well. It's a 9-point lead for Logan over the Toowoomba Mountaineers.
Hi, my name is Jade and I play basketball for Queensland.
Well, some of the great things about Aussie Hoops program would be the younger kids, developing their skills at lower ages.
The thing I love about playing basketball would be working as a team. I also love the energy and the atmosphere basketball has.
Favourite training session of the week would be my club training. It's more involved than.
Back with you here at Cornubia Sports Complex.
Tracy Russell starts it off for the Toowoomba Mountaineers, driving around the top of the keyway, picks it up just a free throw line. Kate Gaze, pass went basically straight to her. Bit of a rush pass from Russell. Good look there for Cassie Smith on the inside. Can't quite get it in.
Not bad transition there, but Smith just going to get the bucket to fall.
Definitely, and that's not the kind of possession you would have wanted out of a timeout for Toowoomba, straight into a turnover.
Then on the other end, picking up the foul is going to be Jackie Luna Castro, just battling for that defensive rebound.
Toowoomba doing quite well in the defensive rebounds, I feel, though, as well. There's been a lot of shots that Logan probably should have converted but hasn't, and Toowoomba's come down with the board as well. So they're definitely getting in there, crashing those boards, and trying to then convert them down the other end for themselves. Tracy Russell with a long three. That one's a bit short. Gets it back, though. Looks for the next option. Ezria Parsons kicks it around. Toowoomba really good with the passes. Nice inside look there. And Luna Castro is going to pick up the foul.
Yeah, I like that inside-outside action. Good ball movement to get the big girl, or Bell, a nice look inside.
I think if you went back and watched the Toowoomba practice, I'm going to have a guess and say they do a lot of half-court sets because defensively in the half-court, they're pretty solid. And when they get to play half-court offense, they look pretty good. They get what they want. It's that transition game that's giving them trouble. So hopefully they can clean that up because when they get set like they just did, they get a lot of good looks.
Guys, this game being presented to you by Live Sport Australia. Make sure you go to Facebook and like our page. You're going to see lots of QBL information, Big V, Basketball New South Wales, all the state league competitions across the country. Going to have plenty of coverage there for you on Live Sport Australia. As Smith fires a three, that's off.
And that's a great inside look from Gaze as well. She drives down the center, kicks it out to the open three-point shot as well. Logan making some incredible offensive passes. As Russell brings the ball down now for Toowoomba. Looks for the easy Parsons pick. Slightly moving, still gets it back again though. No real contact on that one. Toowoomba going inside again. Nice little hook shot there from Chelsea Orbell, and that one goes in for two.
Toowoomba is getting some really nice looks here when they are able to get set in that half court. Donnelly with the big three, though. That's a nice response from Logan after Toowoomba cut the lead to 7.
Well, Toowoomba's doing a great job hanging around. 6 points, 7 points. They just can't seem to get it down a lot lower than that, but they'd be pretty pleased with where they're at. On the road for the second week in a row. But the turnovers potentially going to cost them as it is on this possession.
Great finish there by Fuyava. I like what she did there, using the offhand to protect the ball and laying it in with the right hand. She's a really another one of those young, talented Logan players. You see, you've got Ulamatuga, Fuyava on the court. Good block there by Cassie Smith, and Logan off and running again. Donnelly avoids the defense. It's 4-on-1 inside to Fuyava. She pump fakes, misses the layup. Ball goes out of bounds. Gee, you had so many choices there for Donnelly.
Sure did. And Toowoomba making some changes here. They're really working the inside game, and it looks good, but just Cassie Smith come out with the block on that possession and fed their offense, and they look good in transition, Logan.
Gaze goes inside to Matuga, who lays it in with the left hand.
Again, such a veteran move there from Gaze as well. Driving in, drawing the defensive players to her. She makes that nice little offhanded pass for the 2.
It's 35-2, ahead of that 36, so apologies for that. About 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Toowoomba moving the ball around the perimeter here. Russell picks up the dribble. Let's see what Toowoomba can do. When they're forced to the perimeter, they're struggling, and there's that turnover. Gaze has a clear court ahead of her. She's going to go right to the rim and misses the layup. Donnelly with the offensive rebound. She can't put it back in. Coach Ken not happy about that one.
I don't think Coach Ken can believe it. Neither can I. Maybe I watched a bit of the NBA highlights, and Kyrie's throwing it off the glass exactly like that to LeBron, but unfortunately for Kate Gaze, there was no one trailing to finish it. She'd be disappointed in that finish, definitely.
There's an offensive foul called on Toowoomba.
So Emily Dirksen just not quite setting her screen there. Another unfortunate turnover. Toowoomba really starting to struggle a little bit now, getting a little bit tired, making some of those silly mistakes.
That's what we spoke about a bit earlier too, fellas, in that you can't fault their effort, and they're trying as best as they can, and they're actually playing really well, but just the depth of this Logan team, you can see it starting to wear Toowoomba down, and it's being reflected on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Toowoomba making a lot of really good offensive moves. Like, they're passing the ball around the perimeter really, really well. They're looking for that inside pass to get the easy layups. They're just not quite converting to the percentage that they need.
And I would imagine they're doing a lot of half-court stuff at practice too. It looks like maybe they're puffing a little bit, so they might need to get up and down and get their cardio fitness up, because they're not a deep team, and they know that. And hopefully as the year goes on, they can hang with these top teams a little bit longer.
Parsons is way off on that shot. Again, you hear Coach Ken just pushing the Logan Thunder, wanting them to push the ball up the court. Goodchild corner 3, that's good as well. She's having herself a game. Mila Goodchild, that's her second 3 of the night.
Yeah, Goodchild's a great little player. I've sort of refereed her throughout her career, ever since she was in under 14s, I think it was, playing out here at Logan. She's always been a really, really good long shooter. She's always had that distance.
And then answering on the other end, Watson banks in the 3. So we're going to the three-point battle at the moment. Gaze wants to get on the board, and she does with her own 3. That's Gaze's first three-pointer of the night. She's got 14.
Yeah, battle of the threes at the moment, it seems. Nothing's working on the inside for either team, really, just at the minute, so why not take the long shots? Proving my point, Emily Dirksen missing an inside layup.
Goodchild going to try from the same spot and rattles that one home as well. Mila Goodchild heating up. We saw it last weekend in Brisbane. These young ladies players coming in firing threes. Last weekend it was Champion. Tonight it's Goodchild.
Well, Champion didn't hesitate once, and Goodchild's doing exactly the same thing tonight, which is so great to see. But I think each of those last threes, I think the 3 threes have all been from almost the same spot on the floor. So, I mean, give her all the credit. It's fantastic, but you can't let someone take the same uncontested shot 3 times. Hopefully Toowoomba can make an adjustment, but I mean, it's just so great. I mean, Logan developmentally have done an awesome job with their juniors, but just as we travel around the league, Georgia Champion, Goodchild, there's so many good young girls coming through. It's just fantastic for basketball in Queensland.
Yeah, Hazel Fuy's checking in for Logan, and Asia Pepe also checking in for the Thunder.
And Kate Gaze takes a seat probably for the rest of the half, and she's very quietly up to 14 points, so starting to put together a pretty good night.
Nice little free throw there from Toowoomba. That gets the nice easy two.
And Toowoomba's running some really nice stuff here. I think, again, if we look at their overall turnovers have hurt them. They've had 8 already in the game.
Goodchild again, not a single moment of hesitation. Nails her 3rd in a row from the three-point line.
Yeah, she's on fire now.
And Logan up 20. Wow, Matuga a bit too aggressive there. She took it down, number 9 for Toowoomba, Charlie Kane. That's going to be Matuga. I think that's her 2nd personal. That's the 15th foul, though, for Logan, and Toowoomba is going to be at the free throw line for a couple shots here. Charlie Kane did not play in the game last weekend. First game of the season for Charlie. She hits the first free throw attempt. This game has a strange vibe to me, though. It feels like Toowoomba's a lot closer than they are. They're down 18.
Well, Toowoomba's playing a pretty good brand of basketball, and if you took just the half-court possessions, Logan's up, but not by a lot, but these transition buckets are killing them. You're right, John, it feels a lot closer than it is, but I mean, it's 20 points, and they could easily expand out a lot more in the last couple of minutes here.
And Goodchild just on an absolute streak here from Logan. She scored, was that making 11 of the last 13 points from Logan. She's just on an absolute shooting streak.
Well, Kane comes back and nails her own 3, so it's back down to 18, the lead for Logan. Alice Honoré has it. That's Pepe with the 3-point attempt. That's long. Toowoomba looking to push the pace a little bit here. We're about a minute to go here in the first half. Good ball movement here by Toowoomba, nearly turning it over. They recover. They've got 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Bad decision there as the ball gets thrown out of bounds there. That one by Kimberly Wilson.
Yeah, Toowoomba's working really well offensively when they've got the time. As soon as they come under any kind of pressure, whether it be time pressure, strong defensive pressure, they really start to struggle. Taking those open shots, it's going to work for them. They just need to slow themselves down and find the easy opportunities.
Well, they're not going to hesitate, though. That's a long 2, I think. Now they're going to say it was a 3. That's Asia Pepe with the 3. She didn't see the court last weekend, so she's making the most of her minutes tonight.
Pepe going to pick up an off-the-ball holding foul there as well. Just putting both hands on the offensive player from Toowoomba.
And that's in the bonus, so Toowoomba going to go to the line for a couple shots. They're up, or excuse me, they're down by 21 points.
Nice free throw technique there from Jasmine Gardner. Doesn't quite get the second one to sink, though. Goodchild again goes strong down the center. Doesn't quite get it in, but she will pick up the foul.
It's Goodchild at the line for 2. Hits the first one.
Brings her total to 13. She's only 2 points behind Gaze. You've got a young 18-year-old coming onto the court and almost taking out a WNBL superstar in terms of points.
It's pretty impressive. That's how you get selected for an Australian team. And then Fui comes up with the steal, and she's fouled from behind. That's the 4th team foul for Toowoomba.
And it's not just the point streak. Obviously, that's impressive, you're right. I just like the way she's going about her business. Not hesitating, playing really hard, not forcing anything, making the right play every possession, whether that's a shot or a pass. Just looks like a fantastically bright future is ahead of her.
Let's see, Toowoomba, there's about a 7-second differential. Good pass inside. Honoré puts it on the deck, flips it up, it's off. Matuga fights for the offensive rebound, though, and comes down with it. Excuse me, that's Hazel Fui. And the ball's knocked out of bounds, so Logan will have possession. It's about 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Excuse me, game clock, but only 3 on the shot clock. So Logan's got to get the shot off here quickly. And it's going to be Asia Pepe for 3. That's strong. Dirksen comes down with it for Toowoomba. They're going to have to hustle if they want to get a shot off. There's 4 seconds to go.
You're going to have to take a rush shot here is Toowoomba.
Wilson throws it up and drains it from 3. Kimberly Wilson just flips it up, and she beats the buzzer. So heading into halftime, Toowoomba would be down 19. How's that bucket from Kimberly Wilson? You ever see anything like that in your time on the court, Dan?
Not very often, but that's obviously got to boost morale for a young player, but for a young team too. Great way to end the half for them. And I mean, they've worked really hard. They're obviously down a decent amount here, but they've played incredibly hard and I think played, for the most part, pretty well. So it's good to see a reward like that to end the half.
All right, well,
I was going to say, that's kind of three-point shot you expect to see at the halftime of a Brisbane Bullets game. Someone who hasn't necessarily played a lot of basketball, just a two-handed overarm throw, but what a way to end the quarter, as you said.
so it is halftime. We'll take a bit of a break. We'll come back with some halftime statistics for you here. It's 54-35, Logan Thunder over the Toowoomba Mountaineers, live on Live Sport Australia, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media. Welcome back, everybody, to Cornubia Sports Complex. It's halftime here at Logan, and the Thunder are leading the Toowoomba Mountaineers 54-35. Let's take a look at some of the statistics at halftime for both teams. Logan comes into the half shooting 46%, 6 of 14 from 3, and Mila Goodchild was doing most of that damage for the Logan Thunder.
Well, I think one of the great things watching this game is that we all expect, you know, the veterans, Michaela Donnelly and Cassie Smith, and especially Kate Gaze, who's a superstar in this league, to carry the load. But the one thing that's been impressive is that these young girls have come off the bench with so much energy and brought so much production defensively, offensively. They've been fantastic, and it was when they came on, when those veterans sat down, when they really extended their lead. So wonderful signs for Logan as they progress through the year to have such depth at Coach Can's disposal.
Now, looking at the statistics again, Logan doing a good job getting to the free throw line and capitalizing. 6 of 7 from the charity stripe. Toowoomba is only 2 of 7 from the charity stripe. And let's look at the turnovers. That hurt Toowoomba in their first game. They've got it down to 9, so they took care of the ball a little bit better there in the second quarter.
Well, they had 3 at quarter time, so 6 in the second quarter is not great, but it's a lot better. But as they get more tired, as Logan continue to press on, 9 at the half, let's see where they finish. If that gets up into the 20s, this will be a fairly big win for Logan, I would think.
And you got to expect that they'll be able to take care of the pill a little bit better. You look at the scoring for the Logan Thunder, who are in the lead by 19. You look at that, and Mila Goodchild has 19 at the half. She's 5 of 7 from 3. How's that for a performance for a young, talented Australian guard?
Well, Regan spoke about it during the game. To make those shots is awesome, but more importantly, it's just like we said during the match. She's just going about her business like you'd expect someone who's played 100 games. Just comes out composed, plays really good defense. Those shots were open, good shots. She's not forcing anything. So let's look at her, and I'm excited to watch her. There's so many good young girls coming through, but I mean, she could grow and become anything in this game in years to come.
Yeah, she's got 19 to lead all scorers. Kate Gaze has 14, and then you see Matuga with 6, Fuyava with 4, Luna Castro's got 4, Donnelly's got 4. And then you look at Pepe's got 3. You look at the Toowoomba Mountaineers, and leading the way for Toowoomba is number 6, Crystal Watson. She's in double figures. Second leading scorer is Kimberly Wilson. She was helped by that buzzer-beating 3 to end the first half.
Yeah, definitely. And, I mean, Toowoomba, like we've said, you cannot fault their effort. They're playing hard, and in the half court, they look pretty good. If they can control the turnovers and limit Logan's transition, this could be a competitive game, but just given Logan's experience and their depth and the fact they're first game at home for the season, that could be a challenge that Toowoomba might not be quite up for at this stage in their season. They come out in a zone, though, to try and junk it up a little bit. So let's see what Logan can run against this.
And here we go. We start off the game with Logan Thunder with the ball. Passing the ball around quite nicely as we just take a shot there. Doesn't quite go down, though. Logan again goes around the outside. Kicks across the court to Kate Gaze for the long 3 on the side. Again, doesn't quite get there. Crystal Watson coming down with the ball, though, for Toowoomba as they slow the ball up just over the halfway. Looking to set up a play here. Just taking their time now, Toowoomba. It looks like they've come out a little bit more composed than they were at the end of the last quarter. Inside to Parsons. She spins, throws it up, just can't quite get there. Asking for the foul is Parsons. I don't know whether there was too much on that. It looked pretty straight up to me from here.
Well, I think she had a right hook wide open, and she really wanted to turn back over and shoot a fadeaway. Anytime you shoot a fadeaway, Regan, it's pretty hard to expect a foul call. If I was an official, someone shooting a fadeaway, it's tough to make that call.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially when the defense was pretty up straight as well. So contact may have been made. Nothing on that one here. As they go back again, Ezria trying to spin to the inside. Doesn't quite get there. Long 2 coming out of Kimberly Wilson. Couldn't quite get it, though.
A good defensive set there by Logan. They really packed it in, forcing Toowoomba to the perimeter.
Logan now taking their time, passing around the outside. Inside, nice cheeky little handoff there. And Luna Castro goes in for the 2.
Luna Castro doing a good job getting open. Again, that's off dribble penetration. So we saw Toowoomba have success in that first half when they're able to limit the dribble penetration of Logan.
Yeah, absolutely there, John. Toowoomba here just under pressure, passing the ball through into the inside. Oh, a little bit of an elbow thrown there from Kimberly Wilson. Looks like Logan may have made the first contact, though, so nothing did get called on it. And they're going to have 1 second now with the out-of-bounds pass to make a shot.
How's that block from Cassie Smith? Another huge block from Cassie.
She just does everything really well, doesn't she? Whether you need defense or offense, but let's hopefully Toowoomba know the clock here. They don't.
No one's going to. And Cassie Smith coming up with a nice little block just after the 24-second violation already had occurred, though. Yeah, Toowoomba just not quite aware of that 1 second. Really should have been a straight pass from the inbounds and then to the bucket straight away.
It's one of those ones where maybe you throw the ball in at the rim to try and get a quick bucket with 1 second to go. I mean, and yet you had a good look.
Yeah.
Crystal Watson passes to the inside for Emily Dirksen. She tries to pass it off. Does quite get there in the end, but Kimberly Wilson is blocked.
I think Logan have come out to start the second half really locked in defensively.
Kate Gaze with the three, and she drains it. Kate Gaze with another huge bucket from the outside, and she takes Logan to 59.
Yeah, and how do you lose Kate Gaze in transition? They went straight to the paint. Gaze just floated out to the perimeter and then nailed the three.
As Wilson drives straight into traffic and loses the ball out of court. They will retain it, though. 13 seconds on the shot clock this time.
And this is the sort of game, too. We spoke in the pre-game about someone like Kate Gaze going 7 of 21 in the first round last week. This is the sort of game where you can string together 2 or 3 really good quarters and get yourself in a rhythm. So confidence-wise, these Logan girls can take a lot out of a match like this because this looks like it could blow out here.
Nice little transition there after the Cassie Smith steal. Kate Gaze, nice little pop shot just inside the keyway for the easy two.
I'm surprised Coach Johnson hasn't gone to the turnover here. Things started out fairly promising for Toowoomba. They've kind of gotten out of control here, and then you see another turnover there with the miscommunication.
Yeah, Toowoomba just starting to rush things now a little bit. Easy Parsons has her hands out saying, slow down, guys, slow down. They just need to take their time. They just need to take a breather, not rush things, and get themselves back into the headspace for the game.
And I like what Coach Can is doing here. He's really he can feel the momentum coming his way.
Nice so inside pass there from Donnelly. Luna Castro for the 2 points and the and one as well.
Just ramping up the pressure here, though. And again, it's not just the defensive pressure. It's really the offensive pressure as well. When you push the ball and you're consistently pushing, looking to get out in transition, it puts a lot of stress on the defense. And that carries over on the other end as well.
Yeah, it sure does. They both go hand in hand. And as they play energized offense and they all get a touch, that makes them go back and play really good defense as well. And I mean, Logan's a quality team, and all of those attributes that are going to lead to them having a great year are starting to shine at the moment. Defensively, they look tough, and offensively, they're starting to get whatever they want.
Toowoomba now has the pillars. They slow things down around the outside, kicking the ball through. Dirksen has it on the right-hand side. She tries to drive through, knocking who's that? Donnelly over as she takes a nice little jumper for 2.
Yeah, good aggressive play. We see Toowoomba really getting frustrated because they can't get the ball inside, trying to force it that time.
Kate Gaze taking another 3-pointer. Similar locations last time. This one doesn't go off for her, though.
Nice board there by Emily Dirksen. That's a basketball family if I've ever seen one.
Oh, it sure is. Brother Josh, just having completed 4 years in the States, coming back to the Ipswich Force, and he'll help them tremendously.
And offensive foul called there on Toowoomba as Chelsea Orbell set the moving pick.
Again, Toowoomba just really needing to slow things down. They're just rushing everything in the moment, including their picks. You got to wait till the offense gets around and that movement occurs before it actually takes off.
It kind of reminds me a little bit, the way that Logan is playing reminds me of the Brisbane Capitals men. That constant, consistent pressure really frustrates you. You can start to see the frustration on the face of the Toowoomba Mountaineers.
Logan has it now as Kate Gaze drives center, kicks on out to Michaela Donnelly, who drains along 2. Wasn't quite back far enough to get the 3 on that one, unfortunately. Toowoomba now as Dirksen takes it down the center of the court.
Gotta love the confidence out of Donnelly on that one as well, just stepping right into it.
A nice little steal there from Luna Castro. She goes on the fast break. Totally could have dunked it, but takes a nice simple layup.
You would have put that down. Hey, Thunder.
Questionable.
No, you still
I would
got
have put it down for sure.
You would have put it down.
2 hands
100%.
with authority, no doubt about it. Coach Johnson needs a timeout here. I just think you give it 4 or 5 minutes, see if these girls can figure it out themselves. So far, they haven't been able to. I think you got to call a timeout and get a bit of this structure back.
And just this constant wave of pressure here from Logan. And you see Gaze getting fouled on her way to the hoop there. But the frustration is mounting for Toowoomba. You can see it in the play. early in the in the second half, we saw the ball movement, and now they're kind of getting away. It's a lot of one-on-one ball from Toowoomba.
Yeah, sure is.
And there's a timeout called here on the floor as well. Toowoomba just going to go to the bench. They really do need to just slow things down a little bit. Parsons really struggling to actually find her form in this game, unfortunately. She's taken lots of shots, just can't quite get them in. Really starting to get frustrated with her herself. We're going to take a quick break here as well, guys. So we'll be back with you shortly with more live action from Queensland Park Sports Complex, bringing you round 2 of the QBL.
In-depth video analysis is no longer just for the pros. Huddle is an easy and affordable tool that brings professional level insight to club and high school teams. Just film and track events live at games and upload them to huddle.com. Accelerate player development with team messaging, automatically generated shot charts and reports, and the ability to add notes and drawings to your video. Coaches can exchange game footage with their entire league, all from one place. Sign up for a free trial to see for yourself how Huddle helps teams win.
And we're back here live at Queensland Park Sports Complex, bringing you round 2 QBL action. The Logan Thunder taking on Toowoomba Mountaineers. Brought to you by Live Sports Australia and Nothing But Net Media. Thunder, it's all over as far as I'm concerned. Toowoomba really struggling to find their offensive form, and Logan is just starting to take this game away.
I think we said maybe 15, 20 points would be the margin. It's going to be a lot more than that. And, I mean, give Toowoomba a lot of credit. This is not through a lack of effort. I just think it's a sign of a veteran group just slowly grinding down a team. And the result now is that these Toowoomba girls are getting nothing easy at all. A lot of late shot clock, long contested jump shots are being forced up, and that increases frustration. And Logan are just looking really, really good. I don't know what else to say, but you're right. This game is about to get disheartening for the Mountaineer fans.
How much of a difference do you think a player like Frances Donders yet to come in for Toowoomba when she gets here on Wednesday, nonetheless? How much of a difference do you think she can make for the Mountaineers squad?
Well, she might win 1 or 2 games on her own, potentially, but let's be honest, she's not going to turn them into a contender. I mean, she's going to have to handle the ball for 80% of the possession, maybe. She's going to have to get it over half court, but she's also going to have to be expected to get 25, 30 points a game. So, I mean, she's a fantastic player. Watching her last year, if the rip was something pretty impressive. She's coming off a really successful European season as well. I think they were runners-up in a championship in her league, so had a great year, but I think there's just too many other gaps in this Toowoomba squad for her to make a huge difference, even though she's lost such a quality player.
Yeah, I'm expecting Donders to come in. She is a fantastic scorer, that's for sure. But I don't know if she's going to be enough to get the Toowoomba Mountaineers over the hump and into the finals.
Well, I think one of the problems, I agree with you, I think one of the problems is that she's just forced to do so much. And, I mean, Kate Gay's not a lot, but she gets a number of open shots a game because you've got so many other good players on the Logan team. Whereas, I mean, Easy Parsons to a lesser extent tonight, but Frances Donders won't get any open looks. She'll have to work really hard for every single possession she gets because she's going to be a focus point of every single team that they play against. So she's going to have a work cut out for her. But I'm sure she's up for the challenge, but she's not going to turn them into a contender, no.
Yeah, great defense there by Logan, forcing the shot clock violation.
Yeah, Toowoomba again, just not being able to find that open shot, running down to 0 on the shot clock yet again. Thunder they really do have to be complimented on their defense here in this third quarter. They've already caused a couple of turnovers due to the shot clock, and I'm sure it's going to happen yet again. Logan now has it as Kate Gaze takes a nice little pull-up jumper just inside the 3 for 2.
That's just really simple offense. Kate Gaze comes off a little cheap down pick, a very easy to guard on ball at the top of the key, and she comes off. And I think that's the sort of thing that when you watch the tape, this Toowoomba team can go back and drill that during the week. So by the second half of the season, this should be a really different team. But they've certainly got a lot of work to do. But on the road, a lot of young girls. This is a great learning experience for them as well. And hopefully they all stick with basketball. And as time goes on, they look better and better. But it might not be tonight.
And just as I said last play as well, another 24-second shot clock violation turnover for the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Parsons trying to get a shot off just in the nick of time, but couldn't quite get there. Logan with it now as Kate Gaze once again kicks out to Goodchild. Nice offense here from Logan as they pass the ball around. Kate Gaze on the 3. Can't quite get that one there, but it's picked up by Luna Castro.
If I'm Coach Johnson, one of the things that I'm disappointed in my squad is the effort. To me, that they're getting out hustled by Logan. You can control certain things, and that is one of the things that you can control, your effort. It just, to me, looks like Logan wants it more than Toowoomba at this point in time.
Well, there's been 2 or 3 offensive rebounds in the last 2 or 3 possessions, and they've been uncontested. It's not like Toowoomba are fighting for them and Logan is just bigger. They've just walked into offensive rebounds, which is never a good sign.
Nice little jump shot there from Kate Gaze for another 2 points.
I think Izzy Parsons needs to be careful here. I'm not sure she's getting fouled. I think she's just frustrated, but she's definitely giving these refs a hard time looking for a call, which I'm not sure she has reason to, other than the fact that she's frustrated at the loss.
Yeah, as we said in the second, Dan, she's taking fadeaway jumpers because she is under pressure. Even if your hand is slightly forward, if you're still within your cylinder, that's not going to get called a foul. So nothing going wrong from the defensive end. Parsons just getting really frustrated that her team isn't quite getting that conversion.
Yeah, I agree.
And as a referee, I guess, Regan, I'll ask you the question. Do you get caught up in the emotion of it as well? Like if a team is really rolling and they're playing well and they're playing an aggressive style of defense, maybe you do it subconsciously where you let them get away with things that you might not necessarily always let them get away with?
Look, you tend to not to. I mean, part of our training, and one thing we're always talked about, is not to get caught up in the emotion of the game. We always have to remain level-headed and stay above the game. Just because as the game's tempo changes, we have to change with it, but we've got to stay above it. So, yes, there's a lot of emotion firing here, and yes, Parsons is getting a little bit frustrated, but I would, like me personally, I would not let that affect my calling. I wouldn't give her one just because she's getting frustrated.
Yeah. Do you understand, though, when the team is, at the moment, Toowoomba's only got 2 points in the third quarter. I'd be frustrated as a player. I know that. Do you understand that as a referee and let them chat a little bit more?
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, a game like this as well, like calling a technical foul isn't going to gain anything. You understand that the team's frustrated. They're not scoring as much as they want, as we see Luna Castro take a nice little 3-bomb there. But you understand that. You know where the emotion's coming from. The arguing with the referees, it's not going to impact anything. You know that it's frustration. As long as it's, not swearing or blatantly
rude. As long as it's respectful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because whether you're up 50 or down 50, if someone aggressively comes and yells, it's got to be teed up, surely. Yeah. But if it's respectful, I mean, one of the things as a player too, whether you're up or down, as long as you can feel like you can talk with the referee, that helps reduce your level of frustration a little bit. It's when you feel like you can't say anything that oftentimes you go off your head a little bit. But I just hope that both teams just focus on basketball, because these refs have done a really good job tonight, and I mean, it's not their fault that Toowoomba is where they are. So
no, definitely so. And I mean, I've been refereeing Ezria for years. I think since she actually came to Australia and played her first ever QBL season, I've been refereeing her. And she is always really, really respectful. She's a lovely player to referee, and it is just that frustration that comes out. And I don't think she's going to cross any kind of line.
1 or 2 jump shots that goes down will help her stay in her lane too. Hopefully a couple of shots helps her calm down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. As we just come into turnover after turnover here for both teams. Kate Gage just trying to slow things down a little bit just to get the game back on track. 13 seconds to go on the game clock as well. So Logan's going to try and set up here. Gaze heavily defended as they pass the ball around, just stealing the ball from her own teammate and causing the turnover as well. So Toowoomba's going to get the last shot here with 3.3 seconds left on the game clock.
Well, let's hope they can get a shot up. They're not going to.
Well, Goodchild's going to make a solid effort, though, and so close.
Now, that's going to ruin her.
I was about to say, that is a rookie move.
Yeah.
You have to, I think you have to wait for the buzzer to go off and then shoot it, because her stellar shooting night has just been dampened slightly.
Depends on whether the stats team feels like being nice at all and whether they're going to just scrap that one.
Well, we're in Logan. Let's hope that they scrap it, because she deserves to have a really good shooting percentage. She's been really good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do go into the 3-quarter time break here. The Logan Thunder lead 80 points over the Toowoomba Mountaineers 39. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll come back to you with some stats after the break.
Hi, my name is Jade and I play basketball for Queensland.
Well, some of the great things about Aussie Hoops program would be the younger kids, developing their skills at lower ages.
thing I love about playing basketball would be working as a team. I also love the energy and the atmosphere basketball has.
Favourite training session of the week would be my club training. It's more involved than just individual sessions.
If a kid approached me about playing basketball for the first time, I would definitely tell them about how much fun it is. Basketball's a game for everyone, and it's also an all year round sport.
It doesn't matter what shape or size you are, give basketball a go.
Welcome back to Toowoomba Park Sports Complex here as we bring you QBL Round 2 action, where we watch the Logan Thunder take on the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Thunder 80 points to 39. Logan's in the lead. What are you going to expect from this fourth quarter?
I expect more of the same. I probably expect the likes of Cassie Smith and Kate Gaze to keep shooting themselves into a rhythm, even though we're not going to see much of them, maybe if any, in this fourth quarter. But these young girls from Logan, you know, the Matugas, the Goodchilds, they've been unbelievably good tonight. I would expect them to continue doing what they're doing, and that's going to put them in a really good position. And unfortunately for Toowoomba, I probably expect a bit more of the same as well, which is the turnover count increasing, and it's not going to be pretty basketball, but I just hope for their sake they can get through some more sets and reward themselves with some better looking shots, because they do deserve it. They've played really hard for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really good opportunity here for Logan as well. They do have a lot of their bench players on the court at the moment, and you're going to see a lot of that this quarter. You've got Goodchild and you've got Cassie Smith leading the team, but then you've got your young players as well. So you've got your Pepes, your Fuiavas as well. As we see Goodchild take another nice, clean jumper from the corner of the key.
That's a really, really pretty jump shot, isn't it?
And just the smarts to come down, pull up on a dime at the elbow. Just a really intelligent player with a great shooting stroke. That recipe usually means you're going to get a pretty good result.
And nice three-point shot there from the corner from Fuiava.
Fuiava has also shown a really nice jump shot as well. We've seen her in the paint outside as well. This Logan team, I mean, when we talk about the talent these guys have, the age of this talent, you look at a Goodchild, Fuiava, these guys are under, I believe they're still under 18, potentially, if not under 20s.
Well, I'm not sure how long they're going to be playing for Logan, because watching tonight, they'll be off overseas playing college ball, and we might not see them for a while.
Yeah, well, Goodchild in particular, I know, has been looking at college sponsorships, and she's going to do great things over in America as well. Nice little inside layup there for the 2 points and the end one as well.
The defense kind of just parted there. No one was there. Where was the help defense?
I think there was a little ankle breaker on the ball. That was just a really nice move, but you're right, there wasn't much in the way of help defense, no.
I mean, one of the things you're taught at a young age, you always play split line, right?
You're meant to.
I think Toowoomba is hurting themselves as good as Logan has been, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the game that they're playing, but I really do think Toowoomba has hurt themselves a lot as well in this game.
Yeah, as we see Emily Dirksen step out for the game, as that was her 5th foul.
And I don't mind to see Coach Can playing this full court press. He's up 50, but you know what? His team had a big loss last week, got a lot of young talent on there. I don't mind going hard. I like playing all 40.
Well, you know what? It's a high-quality semi-pro, but the league is getting more and more professional. This isn't a junior program where you might take the pressure off because you're up big on a Saturday morning with a bunch of kids. This is the real deal. And I think if I was Logan, I'm looking at myself and how do I get my team better. And if that means pressing to the end, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to get some really good experience into some of these younger girls as well to get that full court experience. You know, because how else are they going to develop? And it's games like this where you develop those younger players for the games when, you know, you go into the line, you've got players on 5 fouls, and you have to play in a crucial moment.
Absolutely. And equally so, it teaches the Toowoomba girls a lesson as well. I just hope that they can see the lesson and learn and develop from it and not get too disheartened.
Toowoomba again turning the ball over on a 24-second shot clock violation. Logan Thunder really impressive out on the defensive end here.
And I'm trying to identify that adjustment that Coach Can made, because in the first half, Toowoomba really had success getting the ball in that elbow, kind of mid-post position, working it out inside and then out. And that Logan really has completely shut that down here in the second half.
I think there's a little bit of just natural attrition as well, as the Logan girls maybe a little bit fitter, definitely a lot deeper on the bench, and these Toowoomba girls just running out of steam. I think oftentimes when there's a bit of a mismatch like there is tonight, the team that's the underdog can hang for a quarter or two, but beyond that, the class shows out, and I think that's almost just what's happened. Logan's got a slightly better team at a different life stage than what the Toowoomba program is, which is very much in development and growth, whereas the Logan girls are ready to win right now.
Yeah, and I think Logan, Dan, we said it last year, and Logan made the semifinals of the QBL last season. Looking at them tonight, it's hard to get a gauge because there is a big difference in talent between the two teams, as you were kind of alluding to there. Do you see them, though, as a true championship contender in the QBL?
It's hard to say without seeing the other teams, and if you look, Regan and I were talking earlier, I mean, you look on paper about like the Spartans girls with the lineup they've got, you look up north to some of the northern teams, until you see them in the flesh, it's hard to say because they're probably the level above at the moment, but I mean, from what we've seen so far tonight and what we saw last year of this Logan team, they're going to give themselves every single opportunity to be in the mix, and that's really all you can ask for. Get yourself in the top four, give yourself a chance to play some playoff basketball, and anything can happen on any given night. So I think they're right there, but at this stage, they're probably just an inch or two below the top teams. But
I definitely think it's safe to say they'll make the top 8. They'll make it into the quarterfinal round as well, depending on where they finish in that quarterfinal round. If they finish 7 or 8, they're going to really struggle to hit some of those northern teams and the Spartans teams that'll finish in those top 3.
And you want to miss a road game against one of those top teams too. Like you want to try and get a good seeding, get a home court advantage in the first round or so, and just go from there. But I mean, I'm an enormous fan of Kate Gazer's game. I just think she does so many things so well, and you know what Cassie Smith will give you. Michaela Donnelly's been around, but these young girls have been so impressive tonight. If they can keep playing like that, and if they are here the whole season and don't miss too much with junior national teams or college basketball, whatever it is they do, if they're here right to the end, this Logan team's going to take some beating.
Yeah, there's an absolute wealth of talent here on this Logan team, so it will be really good, especially if some of these younger players do come through and they do get the opportunity to play, you know, that quarterfinal, especially if it is somewhere, maybe not necessarily for this year, but if they do get to play in the Rockies, the Mackays in a quarterfinal situation, that experience is going to be incredibly wealthy for them in future years to come, because they're going to have to get used to those stadiums in particular.
And again, I still like what Coach Ken's doing here early on in the season. You want to run your rotation. You want to stick with the players that are going to be playing big minutes for you. You want to build that continuity. You want to build that familiarity. But at what point do you think Coach Ken's going to call the horses off?
I would guess the 3 or 4 minute mark maybe. I mean, the best way to get in shape to play basketball is to play basketball. So I think you're right. The second round of the season, there's a lot of basketball ahead of them over the next few months. You want to get some rhythm into these girls. You want Kate Gaze to come out and have a 35-point night. That's good for her. So I would think that until the 2 or 3 minute mark even, you'll see these main girls on, and at that stage he might put them on ice.
Toowoomba really struggling to get to the basket here. They will go to the line for 2 shots here, hopefully to get some points for the quarter.
Yeah, talking about points for the quarter, looking at the statistics, we didn't really go through them, but Toowoomba only had 4 points in that third quarter. They were outscored by 22, and that's, you know, that basically is that championship quarter that they talk about, and Logan absolutely dominated that third quarter.
Well, we've got 6 minutes of basketball, almost 7 minutes left, and I mean, what is it? It's 35-4 in the second half so far. Logan have just completely shut down anything that Toowoomba are trying to do. 4 points for a quarter and a half is obviously not pretty, but let's see what they can put together the next 6 minutes and hopefully make this a bit more respectable.
It really just goes to show how much defense Logan is playing. I mean, they're putting on so much pressure that they're just wearing these Toowoomba girls into the ground. I mean, you look out on the court and the girls are just exhausted. You know, they can't get into the inside to make an easy layup because they're just so exhausted, and Logan just keeps coming at them defensively.
I almost wonder how many girls the Toowoomba team have at training. It almost looks like they play a lot of 4-on-4 half-court stuff. I can't imagine they're getting up and down and scrimmaging a lot. So maybe they've got girls who work, or who knows what it is during the week, but hopefully they can get a few good weeks of practice together, get up and down the floor a lot, and just put some cardio into these girls' legs so they can close these games a little bit harder than they are tonight, because they look exhausted.
Yeah, Parsons again just struggling to get the jumper in there. As we come down for Logan, Kate Gage just not quite getting her hands on that pass properly. I'll give Toowoomba another opportunity to get some points.
And I think it is that constant pressure, though, like we talked about. We talked about very early in the game, Thunder, that depth of Logan is a true weapon. And we saw them play full court pretty much all game, and they have definitely worn down Toowoomba. That's a really great tact, and I think it's a credit to Coach Ken knowing his team and the strengths of his team.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's their style, and it works.
Parsons for the nice little spin move as she tries to go into the center. Again, can't quite get there, but she will go to the line for another 2 points.
And that's a really unfortunate foul for Logan. A great one for Toowoomba because, I mean, she shot that as the shot clock buzzer went off too. So a lot of, I mean, of all the timeouts, of all the shot clock violation turnovers, I meant to say, how many of them have been shot clock violations? There would be 4 or 5
4
at
or 5
least,
at least.
You would think, which is just such a sign of great defense for Logan. And that could have been another one there if it wasn't for the sake of a split second as Easy got that shot off.
Yeah, and really unfortunate foul for Logan there as well, because Logan's awareness of the clocks, of everything that's going on around the stadium, they have been really, really good. This is the first time that I've actually seen Logan even come close to fouling on the end of that shot clock.
And don't forget, everybody, we've got the men's game coming up for you next. We'll take a break in between the end of the women's and the start of the men's. Again, we'll be the Toowoomba Mountaineers taking on the Logan Thunder for Logan's home opener for the 2017 QBL season.
Kate Gay's nice little baseline drive there as Luna Castro just charges into Toowoomba. Drawing the offensive foul for Toowoomba is, who's that one? Tracy Russell. Good defensive play there from Russell as well. She just got her feet, she slid nicely to the side, took it on the chest. Really good defensive play, and they need to keep doing that in the future as well.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that a little bit earlier from one of the Mountaineers trying to step in and take one of the charges. That's a momentum builder for you. It's just a little bit too late here, unfortunately, for the Mountaineers at this point of the game.
Yeah, it's a little bit too late to put your body on the line now. There's been a lot of open drives from Thunder throughout the game. Toowoomba really need to be stepping up earlier and getting that really nice quick foot movement to take those charges. Parsons breaks a dry streak there to get a nice easy layup for 2.
Yeah, nice drive there by Parsons, looking to get aggressive still.
And this game's over, obviously. Logan are going to get the win, and Toowoomba have got some work to do. But like we've spoken about, these Logan girls getting in a rhythm, maybe these Toowoomba ladies can take something out of it and really close this game strongly and put on 10, 12 points here to finish the game. Because Easy Parsons, Regan, you said she's struggled in the first game and now 2 games of the season as she comes back. If she can put on 10 points in the quarter and finish with 14 or 15 for the game, that helps her as she goes into next week as well. So hopefully these Toowoomba girls can get in some type of structure and get some good looks and take something out of tonight and some confidence as they head into next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know how up to date the stats are in front of me, but Parsons is only 9 points at the moment. She's 3 from 13 from field goal, 3 from 13 on the inside, and 0 from 0 on the 3-point line. Really, really tough game. I mean, Parsons is the kind of player that should be hitting double digits, if not like 20 points kind of thing per game.
Well, she has to if they're going to have any chance of competing. I mean, we'll see it in the men with Toowoomba as well, as she turns it over there, which is just a fatigued turnover, I think. We'll see it in the men too. With the locals they've got, the locals are just really good, hard-working role players, and I think you bring in an import to be your top scorer and to be your go-to kind of player, and unless your imports can put up 20 a game, it's probably not the right fit. So I think you're right. Easy has to be a 18, 20, 25 point a night girl, otherwise they're going to really struggle.
Yeah, look, I think towards the end of the season, Parsons will really come to shine, but by that point in time, it may be a little bit too late. I haven't seen Easy coming from Southwest. She used to run a lot of our women's competitions and men's competitions. I haven't seen her play much ball at all in the off-season, so, she's only now starting to find her form, but if she doesn't get back into that 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, she needs to be a double-double player, and if that doesn't happen till around 6 or 7, it's too little too late.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're going to have a timeout here on court, so we're going to take a very, very quick break as well. You've been watching live QBL Round 2 action from Queensland Park Sports Complex. And welcome back. You are watching Round 2 live QBL action from Queensland Park Sports Complex. This is being brought to you by Live Sports Australia and Nothing But Net Media. Dan, 4 minutes to go, 91-44. What do you reckon we're going to see here from the Logan team in particular? Are they going to keep fighting to get that 100, or are they going to start subbing in some of their bench players to give them the experience?
Well, before I answer that question, can I give a quick shout out to Francis Donders, who's tuned in from overseas just in time to watch this fourth quarter. So, Francis, it'll be awesome to have you back in the league in this Toowoomba team is hanging out for your arrival badly. You're going to obviously help them a lot. So that'll be great. I think really in response to that, I mean, these Logan girls from top to bottom have been really impressive tonight. And I mean, their studs are on the bench now for those last 3 or 4 minutes. But I'm just so impressed with these young players. And I mean, Coach Can and all his staff here, a lot of these girls, I think all of them are homegrown. So for them to come through the ranks as juniors to now be QBL players, to be heading off overseas and doing all the things they're doing, this is such a great sign of what they've been doing here. And hopefully they can reward themselves with a really positive season because they deserve it. They're playing really hard and really good brand of basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, credit has to go to the Toowoomba team as well. I mean, Logan has put up such a strong defensive game, but at no point in time have we really seen Toowoomba just give up and not stop trying. They're getting the ball down there. They're making the really good offensive passes. It's just really, really hard when you're a team that is fatigued, you are exhausted, you don't have a big bench, but they've kept fighting till the very, very end. So there's definitely a lot of hard work going into the game from the Toowoomba Mountaineers as well.
Well, and I think with someone like Frances coming back, we've mentioned her a couple of times tonight, when she's going to handle the ball a lot. And so that takes the pressure off some of these younger girls, and she's going to have to come out and handle the ball and then also put up 25, 30 points as well. But it allows these other girls to fill in and play more of a role. Whereas at the moment they're having to go and score 10, 12 points themselves, which they might not be quite ready for. So there's a lot of positives to take out of tonight as well. They just run into a really red-hot Logan team on opening night at home for them. So lots of positives for both groups, hopefully. We'll see how the year plays out.
Yeah, I'd like to see when Donders comes in, I'd like to see her be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end. I thought with the Rip last year, she had a very good season, but I always felt like I wanted more. I thought she should have been looking for a shot a lot more. And I think looking at the squad that Toowoomba's rolled out tonight, if we added Donders to this team, that's what they're going to need from her. They're going to need her to be aggressive offensively and try to, like you said, put up 20, 30 points tonight.
Well, there's no doubt about it. She's going to handle the ball. We saw the press have a big impact on the Toowoomba's ability to get into their offense earlier. She'll be handling the ball a lot. She'll then be expected to come and get shots up as well and put up 20, 25 shots. So she's going to carry a huge load. But I hope that having had 2 pretty ugly losses to start the season, Toowoomba recognise the need for her to take those shots, and maybe they can help her get some easier looks. Because if she has to come down and work really hard on every single possession to get a shot off, it's going to be a long season for everybody, no matter how good she is. So if they know that, hopefully they can work her off some screens. She can give the ball up, go off a down pick and get it back, and hopefully create some easier offense for her, which in time, because she is such a focus, is going to create easy looks for all these other girls. And they've shown tonight they're more than capable when they get an opportunity one-on-one or even to knock down an open shot. It's when they've got to go and create for themselves they're really struggling. So if she can play that facilitator role, draw all the attention, and these other girls can set picks and work her into the system, I mean, they're not going to win a championship this year, I wouldn't think, but they're more than capable of beating them, at least competing with these top teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in terms of what we've seen from the Mountaineers as well, especially in that first half, their perimeter passing in particular and cross-court kicks to the open player has been absolutely outstanding. You bring someone like Donders into that environment, and she's going to get those open passes for the layups that she's going to need to perform on.
And from I don't know her at all, but just from people you talk to around the league and just watching her from a distance, just an incredibly positive person that loves basketball. So that also helps the spirits of these young Toowoomba girls, which with other imports could come in and everyone gets a little bit quiet. You have a few losses, you start to capitulate from the inside. I don't think she'll bring that. I think she'll bring a really positive influence as well to these younger players, which is going to help them off the floor, on the floor, as we see a nice bank shot go down there. But anyway, there's lots of growth left in both these teams, and when we check back in a month or two, hopefully they're both playing a really good brand of basketball.
Yeah, I think you touched on a really important point there as well, Dan. I mean, an import coming into a team who they haven't necessarily met anyone on the court that they're playing with, but to come in with the right attitude, the right perspective of the game of basketball, and acting as a mentor, not coming in with a chip on your shoulder or I'm better than you are or anything like that, coming in as a mentor, leading by example is so important in terms of the team dynamic, because that way you all perform better instead of segregating the team and, just give me the ball so I can shoot. But bringing the entire team up with you so you can perform as a whole is incredibly important.
No doubt. Well, I've been lucky to play with a lot of imports over a lot of years when I was playing, and you get the imports that come out and do exactly that. Then you also get the imports that come out on a team that might not be winning, which I wasn't a part of many of those, thankfully. But they come out to get stats, and they want to put up numbers and move on. And that's just so detrimental for everything that a program's trying to do. So the fact that they've got a lady like her coming in who's going to bring a positive influence, be their best player, hopefully there's a lot of good things happen up the hill.
And just across the QBL as well, I think that's a really important point because a lot of imports are coming back. Year in, year out, a lot of the time sticking with the same team, sometimes moving around. But the QBL itself is creating such a great environment that the imports are coming back, and that's because of the standards that we set as a competition.
I was going to say it's a great welcome back for Donder. She gets in early next week, and then Friday night, Toowoomba is going to host Rockhampton, who's clearly one of the favorites to repeat as champions in 2017. So it's not going to be an easy welcome back for Frances Donders.
And that's a really important game. Like everyone knows the stats with services like what we're doing. Hopefully the entire city of Toowoomba is watching, or at least some of them are tonight. But the road wins and the road losses is one thing, but you've got to be at least competitive and respectable at home to look after your sponsors, to keep your crowd happy. So there's no greater test in women's QBL ball than Rockhampton. Hopefully they can put on a really good showing next week in their first home match.
As we wrap the game up there with a nice little inside layup for Logan, putting them on 99. So the Logan Thunder do defeat the Toowoomba Mountaineers 99-54. Really well fought game. A lot of really impressive stuff on the court that we have witnessed here tonight.
Yeah, I think it was a great performance overall for Logan. I thought Toowoomba did a great job in the first half, really keeping things tight and close. And they did a really good job offensively, and I thought defensively they did well. I think what changed the game was when Coach Ken really went to that pressure, picking up full court, even three-quarter court, and that's what changed the dynamic of the game for me. They forced Toowoomba into turnovers. They forced them to run with them, and they basically, like we said earlier, they just wore down Toowoomba. I just thought, again, Logan, though, I can't say enough how impressed I am with the depth, and I always have it in the back of my mind, the young depth that they have. Not one time when Coach Ken went to the bench to bring in one of the young players did the level of play come down, and I think that says a lot about the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And just running through some stats from Logan as well while we're talking about them. Kate Gaze does lead all point scorers with 26 points, 9 from 21 from the field goals. But a huge shout-out definitely has to go to Mila Goodchild. She comes in second with 23 points, but out of 19 minutes of play. I mean, that many points from that short amount of time on the court is absolutely incredible. Really, really good job there.
Goodchild with 23. Fuyava had 14. She shot 2 or 3 from 3. I think Logan, they settled for the 3 tonight, and that might be a bit of a complaint. They shot 29 threes and made 9, but, I mean, that's still a pretty good clip. Mila Goodchild made 5 of those. But you got to be happy. Gaze was 1 of 8 from 3. She did finish with 26, but other players stepped up when she was having quiet moments.
And they played a really up-tempo game and only had 11 turnovers themselves, which I think if I was coaching, I'd be pretty happy with that. Playing that sort of pace of a game, 11 turnovers. There's a lot of good stuff for Logan to take out of tonight, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Toowoomba gave up 23 turnovers on the night, and again, that's one area that they have to improve upon if they want to have a chance to get a W sooner rather than later in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. So jumping down to the other end of the field, we will go to the Toowoomba Mountaineers. Easy Parsons leads them with 11 points, shooting only 25% from the field goal, 4 from 16 from the inside. I mean, 25% from one of your lead point scorers is not quite good enough when it comes to scoring percentages, but she's going to grow and develop as the season comes on. She finds her feet again. Watson shooting 10, Wilson 7, 30%. A lot of good boards coming out of the Toowoomba Mountaineers as well, though. It's probably one of the biggest stats that I noticed for them in particular. Really trying to fight for the defensive boards in particular as well.
Yeah, I think Toowoomba did a pretty decent job on the glass there. Again, though, you give up 17 offensive rebounds, which you allow Logan to grab 17 offensive rebounds. You get all of those second chance opportunities. Logan had 24 points off of turnovers, 32 points in the paint, 16 second chance opportunities. I mean, the Logan Thunder were really impressive tonight as we get some handshakes from all the girls. I think overall, though, pretty good performance all around for Logan. I can't imagine Coach Ken would have much to complain about.
Lots of good signs and lots for them to grow on. It's only round 2, but you walk away with that with a lot of confidence and a lot of positives that they can carry on over the next few weeks.
All right, well, that's going to pretty much wrap things up for us. We'll take a bit of a break, and don't forget to go to our Live Sport Australia Facebook page and give us a like. Also, make sure you visit the Nothing But Net Media Facebook page and give us a like. We're covering Australian basketball for you guys. Please give us a follow. We're going to be presenting to you a game of the week each week, the QBL game of the week. We've also got some Big V basketball. Don't forget the CLB 3-on-3 national tournament is on tomorrow. This weekend on Live Sport Australia as well. So it's just basketball on basketball on basketball. Make sure you guys follow us on social media. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Regan, final thoughts.
Look, a really, really impressive game from both teams. I mean, Logan really trying to come out and show the rest of the QBL League what they've got, that it's not going to be the year for the North to take it out. There is a lot of talent coming out of the Southern teams here. And the fact that this is a homegrown team, as we said throughout the competition as well, for Logan to come in with a team fully grown down here in Logan, they're going to take on some of the bigger name teams from the North. So really impressive effort. Toowoomba, a little bit of work to do, but, you know, as soon as we get those extra players coming in as well, they're going to continue growing throughout the season. Easy Parsons is going to find her feet, so they are going to start being very, very competitive in the coming weeks.
Dan, final thoughts?
I think we've covered it, fellas. Lots of work for Toowoomba to do, but they've got the pieces to do it, at least to make some strides, and Logan looked great, and looking forward to the men's.
Yeah, Logan have the USC Rip next weekend, so Coach Van Dongen's going to have to have his game on fire next weekend as the Logan Thunder take on the USC Rip. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back shortly with the men's game here on Live Sport Australia and Nothing But Net Media.